the floor to our expert, Giacomo, who is here. I will just briefly introduce him to you so that you know who is delivering the presentation. So, Giacomo is 31 years old and he is Leonardo M346 chief test pilot. He's a former Italian Air Force fighter and test pilot who graduated at the US Naval Test Pilot School. He accumulated over 3,000 flight hours, of which over 2,000 was a flight test. So he flies over 85 different aircraft, and now he is involved in development of M346, M345 and Eurofighter programs. So Giacomo, please.
Thank you very much. So, thank you for the introduction, very good introduction, and I think first of all we'll start with the video, right? The video about the M346 fighter trainer that we actually introduced today. I can tell you, I'm actually here, I'm very happy about being here for at least a couple of reasons. First of all, I'm here in Poland for the first time after flying the actual Polish aircraft. So we've been flying the aircraft for a couple of months right now. It behaves really well. I will explain you all the differences between the normal aircraft and the Polish aircraft, but it's the top M346 that we have right now. We are in the radio testing right now. We will finish the development of the Polish one probably around the end of October, and we'll start the delivery in time in November, as we say. The second thing that I'm happy of being here about is that we are talking actually of a new way of interpreting the M346. It's a dual role concept. So we are actually telling you that we are employing the trainer also as a fighter. It's nothing new, it's exactly the same aircraft, but with different stores and different systems that I will explain you later. Now let's talk about a little bit of the M346 itself. Most of you already know a lot of the aircraft. It's an aircraft that starts from the concept of being a fighter. So all the performance we will see later brings us to think that he's a fighter. We want to train guys that are dedicated then to actual fighter flying. So your F-16, your Mi-29, the future F-35, Eurofighter, whatever around the world we think we can train. Doing it on an aircraft that actually can match the performance of those fighters. And actually sometimes you will see in some part it actually really overruns some of them. It's an aircraft that actually has 30 degrees of alpha authority, so an incredible amount of alpha authority to show to the student. Great performance, at the same time very easy to fly, because we don't want the student to be involved in getting ready to fly the aircraft, but getting ready into managing all the sensors that the aircraft has. So we can go ahead. Obviously, the aircraft wouldn't be a great trainer if it wouldn't be cost saving. The aircraft is about 1/5 of the cost of the life cycle cost and the actual employment of the aircraft. It's about 1/5 of a normal trainer, of another trainer, or even of a fighter, and delivers the same performance. In some cases are actually performance that are much better than most of the fighters around the world. If you see, the program really went pretty well. There's a lot of flying hours that we've been doing, me and my colleagues. There's a lot of different development in different areas, flight controls, weapons, conditioning system. Most of the stuff that we've been doing here has been doing day by day, sometimes flying Saturday and Sunday to develop the aircraft. And we kept on hitting all the steps that were contract steps for everyone. Now, if you can see, we signed the contract with Polish Air Force, and we rolled out the first M346 on May 2016. We started actually flying that at the end of June, if I remember well. So right now, we have been flying for 2 months with the Polish aircraft. The second one is coming really soon. This is a pretty well-known slide. Italian Air Force has 18. We delivered actually more than 6. Now we are about 8 aircraft. Republic of Singapore is done, 12 aircraft. Israeli Air Force, which is smiling a lot about deploying the aircraft right now, is they have big smiles when you go there. 30 aircraft. And Polish Air Force delivered 0, obviously we start in November, with 8 aircraft that are ordered. And you know that we are selected by the United Emirates. Let's go ahead. Obviously, now when I generally brief the M346, I kind of go over this slide very fast, because everyone knows about that. But here, because we are introducing the fighter trainer concept, I want to show you, point the finger on some of the aspects here. We have a full authority digital flight control, fly-by-wire controls. This is very important when you decide that your aircraft has to be used as fighter. Another thing, we have state-of-the-art HMI. So we have everything electronics. We have 3 MFDs that can change between each other, representation between each other, a large area head-up display. And most of all, we have the helmet-mounted display, which is a great. Actually, we are the only trainer that has helmet-mounted display right now, and it's already in use with Italian Air Force, for example. We had an in-flight refueling probe, and if you look at the performance that I think are in the next slide, I mean, those are not performance that you see on a normal trainer. Those are fighter performance. 8G sustained, 5,000 feet. You go at 30 degrees per second sustained rate at 50,000 feet, but I can tell you it has a snap pitch rate, an instantaneous pitch rate of 28 degrees per second, which is like 5 or 6 degrees more than any other fighter, and sustained rate of about 24 at 5,000 feet, so pretty impressive. Israeli Air Force is using that also as right now as an aggressor against the Blue Forces, and they're saying it performed so well that it's giving a very hard time to F-16 and F-16 and F-15 during combat. Now, this is something we have to remember later when we'll introduce the fighter trainer. Yes?
Question about speeds, because max level speed is higher than engine speed.
What's this is this one?
Yeah.
It's true. Yeah, it's true airspeed.
Yeah.
What you have to see here is equivalent airspeed, which is the actual limit is 572. Now for navigation we use true airspeed, so it's updated to that. So you can go ahead. The cockpit of the M346, obviously, as I was saying, is state of the art that we have right now. It's very similar to an F-16 cockpit, very very similar. It's made out of that, even from point of view of the OTAS, or how all the push buttons are put on the stick and on the throttle, and it's totally replicated forth and back. We want the instructor to be able to do exactly what the student does, because for instrument flying you can actually fly in the back. When we train navigators, for example, we have them to fly in the back, and they have to see exactly the same thing. So there was a big effort in doing this in this aircraft. And it's going to be like that also in the future version of the aircraft. All the LCDs and multifunction displays are smart, so they actually upload during the ground operation all the data. So if everything goes well, goes bad, like the cassette goes wrong or something, it will keep the data, which is a very important thing, a safety thing that is very important. Hands on top of the stick, I was saying, voice command actually works. I've been working a lot with different voice command in different aircraft in my career, and they are always, they can take your inputs, but they don't perform it very well. Here is really impressive. It's like the Siri in your iPhone is very very impressive. It really does everything at the first thing you actually talk, and it really downloads a lot of the task of the pilot, and it's very important for the fighter trainer role. Obviously, we have some safety feature. The aircraft will actually self-recover once you are disoriented, so you just push a red button that is up here, and it will self-recover, put this back on the altitude, give you all the altitude data to recover yourself and go back home safely. Maximum precision in navigation, and we have a very impressive GPWS, which based on digital data will actually help you out to avoid the terrain in bad visibility, low level bad visibility will actually help you to avoid terrain in dives, and it's very important, especially for use on a student that goes solo on a level, which is the aircraft actually allowed in a very safe way. This is the actual very exclusive thing that we have, the helmet-mounted display. Helmet-mounted display is very important for training because today every pilot flying Eurofighter, flying F-16 has an helmet-mounted display. We needed to get an helmet-mounted display easy to mount because there will be students that actually will fly someday with helmet-mounted display or without helmet-mounted display. And this helmet-mounted display just has a different jack. So you just put your helmet one day or the helmet-mounted display another day, and you change the jack. I mean, just where you put the jack, and it's pretty impressive. It works immediately. You have an alignment time of less than 15 seconds, and you have all the data around you. So you will fight the aircraft. The instructor will be able to point at you. So looking at you, hey, the guy is there. So the guy is going to look at that and making him trained to look outside, looking for the enemy, looking for things on the ground, dropping box on the ground so that you can attack that. And it's really, really impressive together with the ETTS, our embedded tactical system. Embedded tactical system is something that I will show you later. Really, if the aircraft itself is very good, the embedded tactical system, especially the Polish one, which is the top level that we have and that we are developing right now, is something that gives the aircraft a use that no other trainer has in the world. You can use so many different stores, bombs, you can use so many different things that I will explain later that will bring the student into the operational arena without even realizing that. Please. Obviously, it's totally night vision goggle compatible, so you can fly with the helmet with NVGs. Very good cockpit for at night. Very easy to regulate and to turn on and off the lights. Please. Obviously, the AJT, the Advanced Jet Trainer M346, has all these integrated training system concepts that we will find it again in the fighter trainer. Now what happens is that the M346 is flying and is actually immersed in a net of different apparatus. We have simulators flying with him. So we have this thing that in Lecce down for Italian Air Force is already operational. So you actually fly a simulator, but you actually fly the mission with him. So you fly information with this guy, go back and forth and fight with him. And imagine that this guy in the aircraft can do the training without having another aircraft flying. So there's a cut in half of the cost of the training mission. This guy doing red air is not going to be trained. It's just a tool for him. So if you can do with the simulator, the costs are going to be much lower than any other platform. At the same time, with the helmet, I can see the guy. I mean, the simulator is flying, and I can see an aircraft in my helmet and looking at him and intercepting him, and which is pretty cool. I have to say, when I developed that the first time, I wasn't believing that much. I was like, yeah, it's gonna work maybe. And actually, it's really impressive. I mean, you can fly formation right there. You can do loops and rolls and split, do radar work, and it's really an impressive thing that we are pushing hard and developing. A lot of our customers are asking to have that improved and put to another different level. It's really incredible. Obviously, it's all together. The aircraft itself, we don't want to sell the aircraft. We sell the integrated training system. There are simulators. There are tools in which you actually, without an instructor, you actually go through the cockpit and learn how to start up the aircraft, learn how to fight, learn how to do an instrument approach, and it's all self-induced by the student. Go ahead. And now we go on the fighter training. That's the second thing, because I'm here, and mainly to introduce this new concept. We introduced that in Farnborough show, the last Farnborough show. We had a full aircraft display with those doors, exactly with those doors. So we have the pod, we have 2 LGBs and 2 AM9, which is the basic configuration of the fighter trainer. And imagine that you can take off and do a loop immediately, because the aircraft has a lot of performance, even with the stores there. So yeah, go ahead. Why are we introducing this? We want to hit a part of the market in which people needs a trainer, but we probably need something more than a trainer. We probably need to go in places like Afghanistan, places like which CAS, for example, like a combat air support is needed, without buying another aircraft. The aircraft here is much more the performance of the aircraft is much higher than any other small aircraft that you have around here. So it's, as I was saying before, it's built around the fighter concept. So it is a fighter. It's a shame not to develop the capability. Right now, we are hitting obviously the development of this. We're already flying it. We are doing some separation with the bombs and the weapons, and we are obviously designing that on the rules of engagement and collateral damage rules that we can apply right now. Obviously, this is a basic configuration. It's freeze, like you will see, but there are many options that will go around and we will develop for the future or with the customer that will be interested. So what happens is that you have the trainer, just the one you bought, and you decide just to upgrade that to a fighter trainer. There's nothing too much to be done. It's just a kit. You put it back in the aircraft. The aircraft is very, very modular, so you can change boxes around and decide to switch it to a fighter trainer. It's called fighter trainer because it remains a trainer. It keeps all the capabilities of the trainer, but it is also a fighter. So you decide to send it to Afghanistan, to send it to any theater, war theater, yeah, it's ready. You just put the bombs in, put obviously a trained pilot. You won't probably send a student there, but probably a good instructor that has both the capabilities and send it there. Very low cost. The cost of the aircraft is the same, obviously. Same power, same capabilities, same fuel, and the performance are obviously the same. Subtracted for the weight. Obviously, the weight is higher, and the aircraft will have less maneuverability. But I would say it's like 28 degrees will go down to 25 degrees, which for a combat aircraft is still very, very good. Now, if you look at the platform, you can do obviously live training in this case. You are not just working with our embedded tactical system, which is a virtual training. You can actually put the bombs in, and if you have trained the guy for 3, 4, 5 missions with fake bombs, now you can put the bombs in and go to the actual range. And obviously it's a low-cost tactical solution. What are the missions that you can actually go through with an M346 fighter trainer? Battlefield CAS and urban CAS with precision guided munition. We have a targeting pod that is already flying on your aircraft operationally, and you will see a data link to link the aircraft and to link the aircraft with NATO style F-16 or AWACS or whatever you need to get into a scenario, a war scenario. Homeland security, obviously the data link is always there. You will have more air-to-air loads, so SRAM and HMD helping you out to engage the guy there, which is already there. I mean, there's no development there. The HMD is already in the trainer. And then we have a gun. It's going to be a 20mm gun, which is going to be a pretty good gun for CAS and for even for air-to-air. And tactical reconnaissance, obviously with the pod data link and maybe 2 tanks, you will actually stay in the air for at least 4 hours. And you can lengthen that with our probe. The probe is already there. It's developed for the trainer. No need for envelope expansion, so no cost, no additional cost. Just use it. Please. Now the operational stores are more or less those. Air-to-air missile, we are looking at AM9 right now. We have 3-fold bombs, conventional bombs, Mark 82. The JDAMs are already there. It's already the simulation that the Polish Air Force will get. So GBU-38, laser guided bomb, Lizard 4 or GBU-12. Small diameter bombs. You will have a recce light pop below the belly or the gun pod and fuel tanks. So you can actually decide whatever you can do. I think in the next slides you will see what you can actually decide to do. Okay, those are some more things that we have to add. Obviously, we need self-protection in the aircraft. So we are not just doing training here, we are actually doing war. And so tactical data link, RWR, they will be fitted, as you can see, around the aircraft. Chaff and flare dispenser in the back for different types of flare. Multiple radios, which Polish Air Force already has. I mean, Polish Air Force has the Saturn, which is the top radio that we have on 346, so you don't need an upgrade on that. It's going to be just exactly what you have right now. It's the top F-Quick that's around. Tactical data link, and last I left this RCS reduction kit, which has already flown on the aircraft. There are things that you can put around the aircraft, especially on the intakes, to reduce your RCS against an air-to-air radar or a ground-to-air radar, which we tested that, and it gives you really, you can penetrate inside the radar range much more, like 20 to 30% more than a normal aircraft, which is already very small and has already a very low IR signature. M346 against M346 several times to myself, it happens that the missile doesn't lock on M346. The IR signature is very, very low. So you really have to be behind to lock on it, which is a great capability for to go inside an actual theater, war theater. As I was saying, configuration. So configuration 1, we call that. It's the ground attack laser guided bombs dedicated. So you will have two SRAM, so short range missile for self-defense, LGBs and target control, so self-lasing again. Obviously, the second one is ground attacks with a lower radius because you have higher radius because you have tank, LGBs and target control. More or less the same mission.
One question.
Yeah.
In the first configuration, the maximum radius of action 505 miles. It's
with air-to-air refueling.
with one aircraft.
Yeah, sure.
One.
Sure. Yeah. It really depends on the altitude, but you can do that at 25,000 feet, more or less, and then climb up at 40,000 feet with those configuration. The aircraft will actually fly with this configuration at 45,000 feet with no problem.
But if you are able to do another aircraft refueling,
I will stand. Yeah, we are. Yeah, it's a right question. I mean, we are just thinking about one aircraft refueling. Going there with one aircraft refueling, but you can multiply that as long as you want. This is without aircraft refueling, so I don't have the tanker, and I'm going just with tanks. And here is homeland security, so dedicated more to air, just to, would be more a peacetime interceptor, I would call it. So guided through the GCI, you will find the guy around the sky intercepting VID him and escort him or fight with him with the SRAM and the gun pod in this case. 20 millimeters, I remember. I remind you. Next one. 4 configuration is tactical reconnaissance, pure tactical reconnaissance, so medium to high altitude, going with a recce light pod and 2 SRAM for self-defense. We will have ground attack and some SEAD possible mission with SDB. You can launch SDB very, very far from the actual radar or actual threat, so you can actually enter it. Imagine that together with the low observability kit. You can get in front of a radar, launching the SDBs. SDBs will fly for 30 minutes. They are actually gliders, they glide. If you have enough M346, like you can launch 20 SDBs easily with 4 to 5 to 6 aircraft and get them on the target altogether. They will actually manage to concentrate at the same time with different tactics. And the configuration 6, which is the heaviest one with the JDAM. Obviously, you are able to bomb, do an actual ground attack with JDAM that will align themselves with the system and will guide the bomb to a precision attack towards the target. Obviously, all of this, you see 260 without aircraft refueling. If you have the probe, there's no reason to put 260. You will actually go faster. So, I don't know if you have a question about the fighter trailer. I will upgrade you about the polish program, which is running pretty well actually. As I told you, you can go on the slide. As I told you, just to remind you, the aircraft that we have prepared for Polisher Force is very different from any other aircraft we've built in the past periods. I always say it's the top of the notch of the development of the M346. So we have a parachute, drag chute that we already fitted in the aircraft, and we're testing it, and it's made for icy runway. It was a new thing for us because we didn't sell anyone to northern, northern countries. So you can actually brake with the parachute without touching the brakes right now. Obviously, you have the Saturn, which I was talking about, so ready for work basically, and ready for training the guys to use Saturn from the very first day they fly. ETTS is a jump ahead. ETTS in the Polish aircraft is impressively, like a step above any other ETTS. You have a store of weapons and a store of and a way of communicating between aircraft, which is at a level that NATO requires right now. It's P5, the P5 pod standard. So with this aircraft, you can go to red flag immediately when you receive it. There's no adaptation you have to do. You can go to fight against F-16 or against any other aircraft flying a P5 NATO standard without even carrying a pod. And this will deliver a lot of training to you and a lot of training to the other guys without diminishing the aircraft performance. So no stores, no additional things that you have to do on the aircraft. The brake chute, as I was saying, and we are introducing a curtain that was a specific specification of the Polisher Force for instrument flying. So generally, people will actually train themselves from the back for instrument. Now, the Polish aircraft will be able to train the guy from the front, so in his cockpit, in his actual cockpit, which is a great thing. Yes, there are some next steps that we are going, I was just saying, the full certification is going to be expected in October, and the delivery the first days of November will come to Dublin, delivering the aircraft. So we are pretty happy.
One second. Yeah? We did this anechoic chamber test in Turin, done already. The picture is in your media kit. So we are also running, this is a Polish aircraft in Turin, because they are flying a lot of DPD aircraft. So they're doing this, starting with the certification.
Yeah, we started yesterday, for example, yesterday morning before I came here with you, radio air-to-air tests, so like a maximum range radius, because there's a different positioning of some antennas, so we need to test it, and it's doing really well actually. So I can't remember the number, but we went very, very far from each other and came back. We got a really good reception, all with Saturn and normal radios. So we are very happy about the aircraft.
The program is going on schedule, on time. We will have the second aircraft flying soon, and then we will deliver the first two aircraft in November, as planned, in the plane.
Penso che abbiamo finito, però?
Sì.
Yes. So we're done.